Maxwell, I have a joke for you, and especially for you this morning.
Let's
You
hear
ready?
it. Yes.
Why do video marketers make good Uber drivers?
Why do they?
Video marketers make great Uber drivers because they know how to drive in traffic.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Good morning. Good morning, Daily Huddle. Good morning, family. Today is Wednesday, and the theme of Wednesdays is communication and relationships, because we know that more effective communication makes for better relationships, and better relationships makes for better families, better friends, better work, better communities, a better life. So we are excited about our guest today, and he's going to talk about how relationships have developed his work. But before we get into that, I have a few questions for the folks here who are joining us. And I think I would like to start with my new friend, Fareed. Good morning, Fareed. Tell me, how are you and where are you? You're on mute. That's how you are. There he is.
Hi, good morning. Well, I am doing good. I am who I say I am, and I am here today.
Excellent. Excellent. That's right. We are right here together, and I'm delighted to have you here. How about Claudette? Can you come off mute? There she is. Tell me this morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Today is a great day. I am awesome, and I'm welcome. I'm saying hello to everybody from New York City.
I love that. Thank you. Welcome from New York City. Tell me this morning, Claudette, tell me, what are you grateful for?
Oh my gosh, there's so much to be grateful for. I'm grateful for God's grace, His mercy. I'm grateful for the people in my life who, without them, this past years would have been just incredibly difficult. I'm grateful for the relationships I've built. I'm grateful for I've been on a mindset journey for the past year and a half, and how so much has been coming into play, and, the breakthroughs that I've been having in this past 2 months. I am so very grateful for that.
Oh, thank you for sharing all that. That is a gratitude practice. Well, we are going to jump in with that, and I appreciate that so much. We are going to realize that there is no time like the present. The time is now. And with that, I'm going to introduce our guest, and then we are going to dive into the question of the day. I would like to introduce you to Maxwell Bentley. Maxwell is the founder. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. My computer just died, but I think I'm back. You guys can hear me okay?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was very strange. I apologize. Let me just start over by introducing Maxwell properly. Maxwell Bentley is the founder and executive producer at Bentley Media Group. He is best known for launching high-performing video marketing strategies for brands across the globe. Brands like Roblox, Hyundai, and Quantum Bank, just to name a few. Since 2015, his agency has generated over 1 million trackable video impressions that have translated to millions of dollars in sales revenue for his clients. In 2022, Maxwell produced a donor appeal film for Meals by Grace, a Georgia nonprofit dedicated to feeding hungry children that helped raise over $187,000 for the organization. He was subsequently named to the University of North Georgia inaugural 20 under 40 alumni class. In 2017, he produced a trailer for the Xbox title Super Bomb Survival and served as the lead editor for the Roblox app trailer. He serves on multiple advisory boards and has partnered with area schools to help prepare rising talent for the demands of the Georgia film and video production industry. Maxwell says that he and his agency exist to form meaningful relationships where his clients and his staff feel successful. Maxwell Bentley, my friend, welcome to the Daily Huddle.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
We are so happy to have you. And in full transparency, gang, I thought up this question as soon as I thought about having Maxwell on the Daily Huddle. And the question of the day is, how do you stand out? How do you differentiate yourself in this crowded marketplace today? And I have known Maxwell a while. He is a young man with a very successful business, and he is successful in an extremely competitive world. And I have been nothing but impressed by his work and also his ethics. So what I'd like to do, Maxwell, is take us back before we talk about your work today. Let's take us a little bit back, which you're such a young man that that's not going to go back too far. But tell us a little bit how you decided video marketing is the career for me.
Well, firstly, thank you for your kind words, Tara. It is an honor to be speaking with you live today. I was born with a camera in my hand. It was weird. It was like a medical mystery. The doctors couldn't figure it out. But I had always been creating short films and videos ever since I could remember. And I like to say that it was a phase that I never grew out of. And I had a reputation for filming everything that was going on around me, everything from fireworks on the 4th of July to my parents arguing. And there was actually one time my dad found out that I had recorded an argument and he was not happy with me, but that's a story for another time.
Hilarious.
And so that was my, that was my thing. And 2006 came around, the rise of YouTube, the rise of sharing videos online. I decided to hop on at the age of 13, and I created videos about a game platform called Roblox. And if you have kids or you know anybody who has kids, you probably know what Roblox is. It's a platform that allows people to create their own video games. I was creating videos about characters from the games, and I would have a unique approach where I would take the video game characters into the real world with me, and I would create little skits and capture all of that on video. And I amassed a small following from that. Eventually, Roblox catches wind of what I'm doing. They say, hey, we want you to create content for us. And I, at 17, picked up my first freelancing contract with them. My dad actually had to co-sign off it. And I was writing, shooting, editing, and narrating a weekly web series for them once a week for about 5 years. And that was my main source of income. And then
Never heard your story. That's mind-blowing.
And I continue through that. I get to college. I decide that eventually that I want to study film. And I also decide that I want to branch out and serve a few more clients. And I was 20 years old. I did not have any business acumen whatsoever. And talk about a 5-year plan. I'm a millennial. I can barely think 5 minutes into the future. So all I knew was I had this talent and I had a drive to monetize it and just go down this journey and see what happens. And every little project I picked up were from friends, and then it became friends of friends, and then it became my alma mater, and then it became other schools. And every little project just pushed me a little bit more and challenged me in different ways. And I took the profit that I would make from one project, reinvest that into my business and upgrade my equipment, pick up things that I thought that I needed. And 8 years later, I get to wake up every day and just do what I love and just do this full time. And our portfolio has evolved to a mix of brands, nonprofits, and businesses here, there, everywhere. And I'm at a happy place in life where I just wake up every day and say, I love what I do. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
So that story is inspiring, and it also sounds a little bit too good to be true. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So Were there there had to be times where you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my rent? What am I thinking? Can I really just,
Oh, yeah.
I got to have health benefits. I'm not following the American plan. Tell me about those scary moments.
So we talked about the roses. Now we're going to talk about the thorns.
Okay.
Absolutely. I had a few advantages. I did not have a mortgage. I did not have any high car payments. I didn't have kids when I started. And I wasn't even paying rent. I was living in a terraced apartment, which is a nice way of saying my dad's basement. And I, for most of my life, was affected by a severe social anxiety. I grew up very shy, very introverted, and that bled into the start of my business, because you can't start a business without talking to people. You have to either do it yourself or you have to have a partner who
Right.
does. And some of my very first discovery calls, I recall some of the very first calls I was making, my hand was shaking making the call. I could feel the sweat on my back forming. I could feel my throat tightening up. I had to force myself into these conversations, even though I didn't have experience. I said, okay, I'm at least going to make the call. And in retrospect, I did fine. But even in the moment, I'm like, man, I could be doing this so much better. I was just really, really hard on myself, which is natural for everybody, but I feel like it especially hits creatives. And if I could go back and talk to a younger version of myself, I would say, listen, you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing right now. Like, you've got this. Everything that's going to go wrong is going to teach you a lesson. It's going to teach you something valuable. And so just embrace it and enjoy the ride. And so I would find situations to curb my anxiety and feel better. For example, I would go to a networking event that would be a group of round tables with people that I really didn't know. And if there was an FAQ section, I would force myself to stand up and ask a question. Even if I didn't know what the question was, until I was standing up, I was going to stand up and say something. And the more I pushed myself out of my comfort zone in those different ways was what ultimately enabled me to grow. And now I can hop on a discovery call free of anxiety today, all these years later. And if I had said, oh, well, starting a business scares me, or making phone calls scares me, if I had lived and stayed in that space, I certainly wouldn't be here.
That is such a beautiful, beautiful story. And I love that you shared those scary thoughts, because I think we all have them. But, you could have said, this isn't for me.
Mhm.
If starting a business requires networking and selling myself, then I'm just going to go work for a big video firm, and I'm just going to stay with my head in my computer. What kept you from doing that?
And first of all, that is a totally valid career. There are the entrepreneurs, and then there are the artists, and then there is the support staff, and we all need each other. So that's totally fine to put your head down and say, I'm just going to focus, and I'm going to help be the heart of a company. I'm going to be an internal organ to keep it running. But what's something that was driving me was I really wanted to be extroverted, even if it was situationally extroverted. I wanted to be able to have a conversation on the fly and be able to stand up in front of a group and articulate myself. And having that want, of course, was a catalyst for everything that came after that, from standing up and, while my legs were shaking, asking a question to a room of people I didn't know, evolving that into starting to go to Toastmasters regularly, where suddenly I'm in a forum of people who are all wanting to improve their speaking, and they are all not expecting judgment. And so that want and that drive and that persistence, that's something that will take you anywhere that you want to go, as long as you have it quantified and you have it defined, and you commit to it.
Wow. That is really inspiring too, because not only were you just putting yourself out of your comfort zone, if I have this right, you weren't just doing that so that you could grow your business. You were doing that so you could grow personally. You wanted to be more comfortable, more social. I've always said about myself, Maxwell, I think naturally I'm an introvert, and I say that I'm deeply social, but I'm not highly social. And what I mean like that is I love these rich, deep conversations, but to work a room in a networking setting, I'm Generation X, and that still brings me anxiety. And you know what I do? Not what you did. I avoid it. So lesson learned. We can close the computer now, but I want to talk about your business.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's fast forward a little bit. Now, here you are today. Your business is definitely off to the races. You've got amazing clients. You're in your badass office right in the middle of Buckhead. So talk to us, though, about, let's move into really the question of the day is, how do you stand out? That is a very competitive industry. And I would imagine a lot of people you talk to, they say what insurance people hear people say, and financial people hear people say, they say, I've already got a guy. So how did you set yourself apart?
So this is a really important question that, in my opinion, is not asked enough, especially since we are absorbing ourselves with information on social media daily, if not hourly. And now we have inventions like ChatGPT creating content. We ourselves were already creating content. And so there's a lot that we are being subjected to. And the most important thing that you can do is be different. Position yourself differently. Talk about yourself in a different way from your peers. So I'll give you an example.
Okay.
When I first got started, I was Maxwell, the videographer.
Okay.
Like, hey, I would go to an event, I would meet somebody, and I would say, hey, I shoot videos. I create videos. You need a video? I do videos. And that led me to the type of work where I was taking orders from my clients. They say, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this. Now that has evolved to, hello, I'm Maxwell Bentley. I'm a video marketing strategist. I help nonprofits raise money with video. I help brands help their audiences become more aware and drive sales using video. And so I'm positioning myself as a strategist rather than a run-of-the-mill videographer. And of course, there's going to be many different, for every industry, there's going to be different people who do the same thing that you're doing. But that's not really true. They don't really do it the same way. Everybody has a different approach, different passions. And at the end of the day, people do business with people. They do business because they like your personality. They like the way you present yourself. And your ability to convey that either on camera or in person is ultimately what's going to help you. And it's going to play into your marketing strategy. And when I say marketing strategy, I don't necessarily mean dropping tens of thousands of dollars every month on a omni-channel campaign. A marketing strategy can be as simple as the way you talk about yourself when you meet somebody new. And so ultimately, being different, positioning yourself as the strategist or the expert, as the authority, if that's relevant for what you do, is ultimately what's going to propel you ahead in this already crowded ecosystem we're in.
So let me see if I can throw this back at you and see if I have this right, because it's like, wow. So I'm going to put myself in the mind of a client. Like, I'm just a small business entrepreneur, which I am. And I know that I need videos to promote my work. I just to look cutting edge, to look savvy, we need video, right? So I've got 5 different videographers that I could go to and get a video from. What I'm hearing is what you do is the stress of, once I have the video, what the hell do I do with it? How do I use it to get the most potential out of it? And is that what sets you apart? You're going to show me how to use that video?
Yes. And that applies to any industry. A strategist is going to ask you questions. They're going to say, what are your goals? Who are you looking to reach? And in my case, it's how do you want to make people feel and what do you want them to do? And so by me asking all of those
Ooh,
questions.
say that one more time. How do you, what?
Do we get goosebumps?
Yes.
What do you want people to do? And how do you want them to feel? And those are the key questions, because emotion is what drives action in my line of work. And so to design a video piece, if you're trying to attract people who are not aware of you, we need to be short and punchy, 15 to 30 seconds, high energy, light touch on the first video, soft sell on the second video, so on and so forth. And then if you're inspiring brand loyalty for the tribe that you've already created and you want to appeal to investors, all right, let's do a 3 to 5 minute brand film. Then we can talk about investing in that type of project. And that's ultimately what it comes down to, is just asking. The strategy part comes in by asking questions and sharing advice on what type of solution would be the best.
Wow, that's mind blowing. Like I would never have stopped to think that there are so many specifics in the world of marketing. You know what I'm curious about, and I thought about saying this early on today, and it escaped me, but I find you to be an extremely courageous person. You've just proven it to us by your career path. But when I see you on social media, you're just unique. What you say, the way you present yourself, it's just not old and tired. There's something really unique about it. Can you tell us a little bit about your strategy and how you continue to keep yourself out there and relevant, and the courage that fuels it?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And just for our audience watching or listening, everything that we're talking about is a muscle. Like everything that we're talking about here can be accomplished with practice. And it might be uncomfortable at first, but the key, Tara, is just to keep creating and to keep testing. See, in a social media sense, see what people are responding to on your LinkedIn posts, on your Facebook posts. Are they responding better to statistics? Are they responding better to Facebook videos? I had the opportunity to go on a mastermind in December with Paul Getter, who is essentially the king of online advertising. And there was a period of the mastermind where we were filming content for each other. We were just holding our phones and creating little videos for each other. And I began one of my videos with, "Hey guys, I just wanted to come on and and then they said, whoa, 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 whoa. Not hey guys, not hey everybody. When you're recording videos, you have to talk to one person, because when you do that, even if I know it feels a little bit weird to talk to a camera, but when you talk through the camera and you imagine a real person on the other end, it changes your tonality. It changes the way that you articulate words. And like, I began a video a few weeks back. I started it and I said, "Hey, I spent an ungodly amount of money on coaches over the years. For me to learn what I'm about to reveal to you, I'm probably going to get ostracized by my peers for sharing this, but you know what? It's worth the risk." Framing a video like I'm revealing a secret to a friend. There's just different little strategies and different little things you can do to really stand out amongst the muck and the mire. And part of what you can also do is just pay attention to the type of content that you resonate with. Use that as a launching pad. Pay attention to what catches your attention, to what piques your curiosity, and create a framework around that you can replicate and then start to form into your own.
Maxwell, we got to make some time for questions, but
Yes.
I just have to tell you what is shining through for me. And one of the reasons why I adore you is I brought you onto the Daily Huddle because I knew you would be a great guest, and I love you. And I thought it'd be a cool chance for you to promote your magical work. And what you are doing is helping others. Every time I ask you a question, you make it about the listeners. You're giving away your very, very valuable knowledge and your advice freely and generously. One of our tenets on the Daily Huddle is to give. And that's what you just keep doing. And that it's really just, I just want to express my gratitude. And it just reminds me how much you know. It's just these little tips, they're mind blowing. So I do want to open it up to questions. And if we don't have any, I'll keep firing them away at Maxwell. But we do. Gio is jumping in with a question already. Talk to us this morning, Gio.
Hey, good morning, Maxwell. Great to see you. Really great to see you. I really loved this very, for me, in my world, incredible distinction between the 15-second, 30-second video and the 2 or 2 minute or 3 minute video, depending on who is it, your tribe, or is it people that you're trying to connect to for the first time? I never quite got it. When is it when is it short or when is it longer? And now it's just distinct and clear. As far as that 10, 15-second, 30-second video, what are your, I don't know, what is it, tips or takeaways? What are the best things to look for? Because for me, it's like, what can you possibly say in 15 seconds that, you know, that can do that soft touch that you're pointing to?
So a really good strategy would be to think about your clients, think about your audience, even prospects. Think about a question that you get asked more than any other question. What's at the top of everybody's minds when they hop on the phone with you? And create, and it doesn't have to be exactly 15 seconds. You've got some wiggle room. You can go up to 30 or 60, but to hop on a video and say something like, hey, here's the difference between a videographer, a video strategist, and an ad agency. And here's 3 different budgets, and here's 3 different types of work. That's something that's going to create a lot of value. And it's also going to position you as an expert. And it's also something that you can record on your phone or on your webcam and just address really quickly. And you can record, you don't have to worry about an intro. You don't have to worry about anything other than just jumping right in to the response, saying, a lot of you are asking, da, 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 da. Well, here's the response, but da, 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 da. And that's as simple as it gets. And on a more produced video that I would create for a nonprofit, for an example, it would involve some voiceover, perhaps some customized footage. And there's all kinds of different angles and different ways that we can craft a hook and a call to action in 15 to 30 seconds. But again, the easiest way to break into video marketing is by accessing the cameras and the tools that you have and your personality, and just addressing questions and just giving your audience the knowledge that they're looking for.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, that was clear. It was really clear for me.
So we are, you just continue to drop nuggets of gold. I just wonder how much more we could tap into. That's amazing. But we're almost out of time. So I just want to ask you our question from the beginning. Oh, we got one more question. Ronald, we'll make time.
Yeah, quickly. And he just did drop one and I missed it. Videographer, video strategist, and there was a third one.
Ad agency, right?
Mm-hmm.
So ad agency. Okay. Because I mean, I'm just like, to me, I've just always think of a videographer can create all this, but there is a difference in every single aspect of it. This is great work. And I've been going through your website and I'm basically working for one of your clients. I'm at KSU right now speaking to you.
Oh, awesome.
I just saw the little video that you did for KSU right here. This is awesome, man. I'm definitely going to contact you because I've been having some great ideas and I don't know how to even strategize them. So great work. Are you a graduate from KSU too, or?
I'm actually not. I'm a graduate from University of North Georgia, but I like to say I'm a nighthawk at heart, but I'm an owl when duty calls. But that is so cool. This is such a yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
This is such a small world. Yes, I'd be very happy to chat with you afterward. see what we can do.
Thank you.
Before I ask my final question, I should, for all those who are going to have the chance to listen to this, what's the best way to reach you? Is it weonlyfilmeveryone.com?
Yeah. So I'm on weonlyfilmeveryone.com. You can also stalk me on LinkedIn, Maxwell Z Bentley, and I'm also on Instagram. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So tell us, before we sign off, one final question. If you just had to put it in a concise answer, how do you stand out in a crowded arena?
You stand out in a crowded arena by not being afraid to be yourself, not being afraid to create content that inspires and motivates, and also not gatekeeping knowledge, not gatekeeping expertise. Share it freely and build an audience, and don't be afraid to do any of those things.
Man, you've modeled that here this morning, Maxwell. Thank you so much. I am delighted that you could join us. And I'm going to close us out with our 7 tenets of the Daily Huddle. Let's see here. Love. I have loved this conversation. Absolutely loved it. So remind us to lead with love each day and laugh out loud. Let those endorphins fly. Throw your head back and laugh. And remember to give, just as Maxwell did this morning. Give generously, freely. It will be returned to you. And how are we taking care of our bodies? We are getting more sleep. We're eating more plants. We are stressing less. And don't forget, get out of that chair and move that body. We'll see you next Wednesday on the Daily Huddle for more communications and relationships. And tomorrow, the Daily Huddle is all about spirituality with Dr. Monica Agondo. See you next time.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you,
Maxwell.
Thank you, Maxwell. This was awesome.
I'm going to
Oh,
give
thank
you a
you,
call
guys.
shortly. Thank you.